Hello, everybody. My name is Zerduku, and welcome to another book time. This book I've written is a little Christmas present from me to you guys, and hoping that after this year, there will be more Christmas to come. And one other thing that this is more just a philosophy story, which means it's not to be taken literal, and it's more of the rules of Valhaven than anything else, rather than an actual story. But I hope you guys enjoy it.
Hello, everybody. This is Akari, and I'm here for another book.
You didn't say the title.
The Philosophy of the Angels.
Of Angels. Thank you very much.
Sudoku? Shish.
I'm quiet.
Before anybody reads this book, it should be noted that I am not trying to create a new religion or anything like that. This is just about the understanding of Valhaven, which is one of my things that connect the universe of all my books. That being said, all philosophy is like art, and opinions of art belong within the eye of the beholder. Do not look at the sun with your eyes, look at the sun with your heart, where your soul can step out of the box and step across the mountains. Where you will find the lions will give a friendship of love instead of stomping on the animals below their feet. Courage. Where do you think it comes from? The need to learn and understand who we are in this universe. The universe that we live in is vastly filled up with different lands of earth, sea, and an endless ocean of questions. It is not of the heart of sentence to live neither in a box nor in the still statues of decay. The sinful creation of society contains a youth with denial of the destiny of
Sentience.
sentience. To learn is to step out of the box of decay and find the courage to face the unknown and, of course, those who created the cage. The past is nothing more than old lessons that can be changed to benefit your future. The past is not a living space, nor it's meant to look back for nostalgia reasons. As a sentient being, you must always march towards the future with courage and valor, with humility and understanding of others. When you want to achieve a single goal, you must always remember a certain phrase under any situation: to be stronger than you were yesterday. Wisdom. Neither the unknown or death should be feared. The hornet's nest is not a warning. It is an invitation to those who have the courage to face the problems of responsibility. To understand thyself is to understand others through experience in humanity of others. In the end, the most important wisdom to learn is that you are not important, but it is the others around you who need to matter most, even if you don't know them.
What?
Okay, I'm saying one thing on this one. We all matter regardless of who we are.
I'm missing what you're trying to get at here.
You're saying that the person themselves does not matter.
I think you're missing. I think what it is, you're missing the point.
That we are important.
That you do not. You should not look at yourself as more important than other people, is what it's trying to say.
Oh, okay. Life should never be taken for granted for any sentient being. The universe is our school. Mother Nature is our teacher, and we are the students. Like all teachers, if they know when some lessons cross the line, instead of becoming the lesson, it becomes the banter of nature itself.
Banter, that's a good one. I don't even know what that means.
As sentient creatures, we must be observers instead of conquerors. We must always understand that there are consequences for every choice we make, including the choices that entail negligence. Negligence. Never mind. Every solution will always have a problem with any living state one creates. The question we always have to ask ourselves is what problems are we okay with and what problems are we not okay with? Excuse me. Truth. Lies are a curse to the soul, and dishonesty is a message to others that tell them never to trust you. Lies do not protect those that you love. Instead, you're only stabbing a dagger in their backs. A tall tale is a storm of rainy knives from the sky destroying the sea of honesty and trust. Those who hear the truth and feel pain is a sign that society is primitive and has much to learn about life itself. The biggest lies are hope and freedom. No one is truly free, and there is no true hope. Only the logic of understanding of the things and the people around you. Those who feel despair when they hear that all hope is lost are people not worth living for. Those who are worth living for are those who stand and fight even if they know they're going to die. The death of heroes is not a sign of despair but a sign of true hope. True hope only exists when people stand together with logic and understanding of others, which allows them to see the light of a bright future. To me, this sounds like a book of someone that is truly depressed.
Huh. That was not my intention. That's interesting. Way of looking at it.
Justice. If one lives in a world where murder, I'm gonna say,
You really do not like that word.
no, I do not.
I understand, but it is my way of like putting a sentence. But
We're just gonna go with the R word with this one.
Sure, we'll go with that.
If terrorism is allowed to roam freely, then it is the responsibility of one to take action. Bullying is not punished by a cage, but by one who either stands up for himself or for others. Causing pain to evil is not about pride. It's about the courage to stand up against injustice. Those whose words against violence are a circus of fools. Oh, no. Those who use words against violence are a circus of fools, which makes them no less of an enemy of justice. Punishment should always fit the crime, but those who show no sympathy for the following deserve death. Murder, R word, and terrorism are the great signs of malevolence and must be smite by the justice of light. Only show forgiveness to that malevolence if that being shows sympathy or guilt for their actions. Lost causes are not a sign of sympathy or guilt, but a lie of trickery that has to be learned by the light. After all, true malevolence cannot be contained. When it comes to life itself, there will always be room for change, and one must understand that change must follow the path of justice and logic of the living, learning beings. Huh. See, in this, you're telling me that people who do crimes can be forgiven only if they show guilt or like they're upset with their own actions instead of being ones to keep reoffending.
I think that might have been the intention, but it's been a while since I've written this. I think I
Well,
started writing this in like I think I'm almost at the beginning of summer, so it's been a while.
I mean, I kind of like what it says.
I agree with that sentiment. Like,
All right, yeah.
I agree with that sentiment because I feel if you do commit a crime and you don't feel any kind of guilt towards it, that you should pay the max consequence. But if you actually do feel at least sympathy or,
Oh, go ahead.
but I feel that if you feel like some kind of compassion towards what you've done, like you want to fix the wrongs that you have made, then I believe that you should have an actual fair chance.
Uh, yeah, I feel like the philosophy of angels and demons are meant for us to tackle these, you know, strong like subjects. I'm just sorry, my brain was not working there.
Personally, I feel like those who are accused but are not guilty should not be treated as
I
such.
feel like that's almost like the same thing, almost. What
But
it's trying to say.
the law is never just. The law is never just because they don't care if you're actually innocent or guilty. They have to get a conviction.
Yeah, that's the thing about. Okay, so like I said before, the philosophy of angels is supposed to be like the rules of Valhaven, which is if. Okay, so the reason why these are all split into like 8 different parts is like there's 8 different archangels and they represent the different chapters here. Like you just read, justice and stuff like that. And the idea is this is how Valhaven does their thing versus us. And the idea is supposed to look at this fantasy and compare it to our real world and try to like think about if there really are things in real life that we need to take care of. It's kind of like when you watch a superhero on movie, you admire them and you want to be like them. It's kind of like that, but on a different scale.
I think if this Valhaven thing was actually a real thing and not something that you made up, the world now and for us humans could learn a thing or two from this by
I
the
think
sounds
that
of
I
it.
think that's the point. Is kind of like the question is the point. If Valhaven existed, then our world would be different, and that's the point of the philosophy of
So does
angels.
that mean, say that someone who has committed a crime once, but then later they show remorse and they actually change, would they then be more accepted later than they were at
I
one
think
time?
the angels would try to accept. Is the thing. Well,
But
they don't really call themselves angels, but regardless.
but if that same person committed a crime but then later committed it again and again and again,
Yeah,
would
it
they then be
it
purged?
depends. Okay, so they have like kind of like they will forgive you a few times, but eventually they will get to the point where they think that you're lying, and then they will punish you at that point because they understand the concept of like. Can you pause the video there, Akari?
Yes, I can. Sorry for the small delay. We are now back. Friendship. No one has the power to do things by themselves when they want to achieve a goal. Friendship is not about intimacy. It's about the understanding and humanity of each other's weaknesses. A good friendship is about picking up kinship of those who have fallen. True friends enjoy the same fun and understanding of each other. Friendship is not about keeping promises or silly, stupid things like respect. It's about someone's willingness to follow you on whatever path you take, regardless of the peril ahead, and helps guide you in the right direction while not letting you fall into darkness. True friendship should be able to see the pain in one's heart and not be blinded by their own pride. Respect is earned and never given. Anyone who believes that friendship is about respect is only a fool and cannot see the light of the truth. Friendship is earned only through sympathy. Friends can last forever, but most of the time people have to part ways eventually. It is a curse to those who live their entire lives alone. Friendship is not made to fill the void forever. But it is always a nice feeling to know that someone will follow you wherever you go and stand by you against the void of darkness. Consuming celebratory drinks and horrible selfishness are not a sin, but the self of harm of addictions are. You should always remember that you are in control of your own mind. Do not let the substance control you. Otherwise, you are no different than the primitive monsters you once were. Well, that's an interesting take on that. Next. I'm curious about this one.
Okay.
Love. Time is the worst enemy of true love. Over time, people either get tired of the same person or twist the complicated truth of what love really is. The problem is the natural instincts of the monsters you once were. True love can be broken down into three simple rules. The first is that both the beings must be actual sentient creatures.
Sentient, but sure.
Yeah. In order to understand true love. It doesn't matter the age or species difference. All that matters is the ability of understanding the first step. The second is that both the beings must have a built personality that does not clash with each other. Conflict is not true love. Conflict is a deadly storm just waiting to happen that can only end in tragedy. When it comes at this part, the concept of the two-sided coin comes into play. Connection with one another has to be both romantic and physical in order for the two sides to work. Last but not least is the most important thing that you could ever imagine. Both of the beings must be male and female at all times.
Continue on because there's more to it than that.
Not always, but we'll get into that later.
Okay, we will.
The same sex is nothing more than an ocean of toxic material that is a deadly disease that will spread through an entire civilization over time. In time, it is the deadliest enemy that love will ever face. Changing your gender is taking away your future with your partner and also sends a bad message to the future generation. The future generation will carry the toxic disease throughout the deadly time and deny the future of any civilization. Not exactly true, but we'll just keep going because I know this is what the the writer has in his own mind.
Okay, so you're making me sound like I'm crazy? Wow, that is mean.
No, I'm saying that you don't have an open mind, nor will you ever have an open mind to the concept that sometimes certain relationships are better off being in the same sex than they are as opposites.
We could get into quite a long debate about that. So for now, I'm just going to say move on.
We'll put a pin in that, and we'll get back to it in a while.
I agree.
And that's a movie reference. If you haven't picked it up, then I will
Yes, and
slap
I
you.
can name the reference. That's from Bolt. And that means I'm awesome. Now moving on.
You weren't supposed to name it.
Was that for? Well, you didn't make it sound like it was for the audience. Whatever. Forget it. Just keep reading.
Excuse him. He may not look it, but
Excuse me,
sometimes,
princess.
sometimes he deserves a slap.
See what I have to deal with? See, it's a bully.
Anyways, moving on. Love is not pride. It is the humanity of understanding each other's true heart. Having more than one lover is not a question of disloyalty, nor is it a question of anything that has to do with loyalty at all. It just means that your heart is big enough to give to more than one person. A harem is not a sin against light. We'll put a pin in that too.
I'm sorry, I can't stop laughing on that one. All right, moving on.
For a matter of fact, it is encouraged to give your heart out to others. It is not encouraged to forget about the death of a once living lover. It is disloyalty to forget about the dead that you once loved. No tool should ever be used to disrespect the dead. I have more to say. Unfortunately, we don't have the time.
No, we don't. I apologize. The thing is about philosophy of angels, there's a lot of stuff you can get into, a lot of big subjects, and a lot of big conversations. But that's the point of it.
Well, you and I already have very, very different mindsets on a lot of different things.
Yeah, but I really don't see the philosophy of angels as really being me, to be honest. But anyways, moving on.
Peace. A true goal is not one that helps thyself, but one that provides something for others. As our teacher, Mother Nature always provides us the tools necessary to help provide for our kin. The greatest gift that nature has provided you is the ability to understand. To obtain that great power with responsibility is to focus and concentrate. When you do, the answers can come to you. Form does not matter, but the ability to understand is a sign of kinship between all living things. This gift that all life has received of understanding is a great power that must come with great responsibility. It is not meant for destruction or pride of thyself. It is meant to choose to create something that you can give to all of your kin and more. No matter the species or the primitive cultures that separate us through color or sex, we all must stand together, united to learn and understand nature. See, now I like that. Because that's saying that you're not racist or sexist.
Thank you. I have so many questions on that one, but continue on.
Maybe you can put a pin in that too.
I'm probably going to forget Memory of a Goldfish.
Yeah, you probably already forgot about the other two things. It's okay.
I kind of sort of did. I'm being dead honest too.
Oh my god. Audience, do as you will with that comment.
Oh no. Dear me.
Anyway. Okay. Not to twist nature for our own greed or pride. We should not judge each other through tall tales and daggers unless it is a danger of life. Through the power of understanding, you can control your personality that you or through the power of concentration. You always have this power to change your personality because your personality is built of towers of concrete through age and experience. It is very difficult to make any kind of change. That doesn't mean that it's impossible. It is just difficult. You must find the strength in yourself to change for the sake of others. If you are not toxic to others, there's no reason to change. But you should also be willing to change for yourself too. Like if you know that you're being a jerk to your family and whatever,
But
and
that's
I
he missed
mean,
the point about the toxic thing. But moving on.
you should change for yourself and for them. It's not hard to become a
Well,
better person.
if you haven't guessed, the angels from Heroes of Light from Valhaven, they don't believe in like things doing things for yourself. Is if you haven't guessed.
True. Okay. Fate. When we are born, there are very few things that are meant to not change. Personality is built by the growth through structures around us. Since that is something that is built by nature's gift of understanding of consciousness, you have the power to always change that. However, you should not have the power to change your gender because that is a gift that nature has given you and it is not meant to be taken for granted. Skills and abilities are also gifts and are not meant to be changed. The gender and skills that you're born with must be used to help you find your purpose because that is your fate, which is meant to be. To change fate comes with great consequences. It is and it must be understood that anything that comes at great consequence threatens the life of others around you. Either through creating a deadly disease or unseen consequences must always be taken into account. Sometimes it's better to be let it's better to let bad things happen than to interfere. Okay, that is the wrong freaking message to be saying here.
Yeah, if you okay, so you remember some of our role plays, right? Way back in Prison City days.
Continue.
Well, if I think I mentioned that there's 8 different archangels. This is Zerduku writing this part because this is him, and he is the not only the angel of fate, but he's also the angel of death. So it kind of makes sense that some of the stuff he writes is kind of dark.
True, but at the same time, if you see that if you as a person see
I don't.
something that
Okay,
is wrong,
okay. So this is how. Okay, so you have to understand that the quote unquote fantasy angels see things from a different light, as in like supernatural beings that are
I
outside of
understand that they're
like
not supposed to interfere with us.
yeah, that's what I'm trying
But
to
at the
get at.
same time, if
But
you see some,
yes, so you have to kind of once you understand that, then you don't really have to take that as an actual message to what whatever.
well, but at the same time, though, if you see something that could potentially mess up something, so for example, I know Sudoku sometimes can see what something.
Seems glimpses of the future.
Yes, but if you see something that threatens what how something is supposed to be, wouldn't you be able to step in then to stop something?
Remember way back when you read Vengeful Spirit and he predicted Milo's death and what he is going to become. He decided not to interfere because when you start messing around with things that are meant to be, it kind of creates sort of like a time paradox kind of deal. It's almost like time travel nonsense, like butterfly effect.
But if you know that someone's fate is supposed to be of one way, but then something threatens that to be a different way,
The way how Zerduku's ability is that he sees things that are supposed to happen, not things that could happen. So if he changes something, then he's not going to see what happens next at that point. So if he changes something, something probably even worse could happen. Is what I'm getting at. And I think
Okay.
you're missing the point.
Anyway. Ow. My knee. Despite what many may think, there is such thing that it can always get worse. Figuring out what your purpose is in life is not that difficult. The first step is to understand what your skills are. Understanding your skills only requires practice. Then, you must observe the world that you live in. Any kind of observing takes time to understand. All you have to do is learn. After that, you must understand the combination of the world and skills to see a way to contribute yourself into society. After that, you need to take action and not be lazy toward your goals. I know a few people that should be able to hear that, right?
Poor Viking just got told out there.
Oh, I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about a certain person that she knows.
I missed it.
Never mind.
We'll go over. We'll put a pin in that one for you.
If you stray from your purpose, you will find unfortunate consequences. No one should ever run away from their fate. When you do face your fate, you must face it with humanity and understanding of others'
Humility.
feelings. Why humility? Do you know what that means?
Kind of like. Is it kind of like something like you kind of put yourself down or something?
No, humility means that you get embarrassed.
I guess I misunderstood that.
Yeah.
But it felt like it's kind of like you don't take any pride from it. You understand you're flawed. Is basically what
No,
it was.
that's not what humility is.
Yeah, okay, so yet again I need a thesaurus, but I think now they get the point. Now that I said that.
Do not try to achieve your purpose with greed or lust for power. Your destiny is all about the light of others and not about your own selfish reasons. The end.
Please, I can describe, and this is Zerduku and Akari signing out.
Bye.
That one.